There is no way around admitting that the Dallas Cowboys have been one of the most disappointing teams in the NFL in the last 30 years. The last time they went as far as a conference championship was 1995, which was also the last time they won a Super Bowl. But these past years with Dak Prescott have arguably been the most gut-wrenching. The future looked bright when rookie Dak Prescott led the team to a 13-3 record back in 2016. Since then, there have been coaching changes, key signings, and thrilling games that have left the Cowboys with, well, nothing. But I think this just might be the year that all changes. This seems to be the year that everyone outside of Cowboys fans is forgetting what this team is capable of. This is the year that America's team is going to fly under the radar. Following another playoff loss, the noise surrounding the Cowboys camp seemed to be at an all-time low. If any, it was all about contract talks with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb eyeing extension. Because of this, Lamb decided not to attend the mandatory minicamp that the team held, but I don't think this should be too much of a worry for the team and fans. Just because Lamb didn't attend the camp doesn't mean he is out on a vacation with his feet in the sand. Lamb is the ultimate competitor who is familiar with the Cowboys system. He won't have to be worried about some learning that a rookie would. Dak has also mentioned many times over the course of off seasons that he puts in plenty of work with his teammates elsewhere. And not to mention, way back in 1993, Hall of Fame running back for the Cowboys Emmitt Smith missed all of the offseason stuff and went on to win both NFL and Super Bowl MVP. The reality is, Lamb is a top receiver, and we'll see how his contract plays out.
There are some players in this league that are more than just the position that they play. They're so important that they tilt defenses in their direction and they allow other things to open up. I think Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb seem to be becoming one of those players also.
As for how the actual OTAs in camp went, there were some really encouraging signs from the team. One group of players that showed out was the linebacking core, which looks like it will be a lot better than last year's group. The Cowboys have always had good linebackers, and it is a position that defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer always headlines. But last year, the team's linebacking play was very underwhelming for its normal standards. Zimmer seems to already be making an impact, along with the addition of Rick Kendricks and new rookie Maurice Lafau. They will be able to showcase their talents under Zimmer and instantly make this group better. Oh, and of course, how could you forget Micah Parsons, who will be another piece of the puzzle in that group of guys. Now that I brought up Maurice Lafau, that brings me to the next set of guys that stood out at camp, the rookies. But before I get into their minicamp work, I want to dive into who these rookies are. The Cowboys traded their pick to the Lions and ended up having the 29th pick of the first round and decided to draft Tyler Guyton, who played tackle at the University of Oklahoma. The Cowboys basically had no choice but to draft an offensive lineman in the first round, and they did exactly that. Guyton might take some time adjusting to the NFL though, as he only had 15 starts at Oklahoma, 13 of which came at right tackle, and he will be asked to play left. VP of Personnel for the Cowboys, Will McClay, said that they were looking for a guy that was highly athletic, as those seemed to be the left tackles. With Guyton having a basketball background, they knew they had their guy. Then in round 2, the Cowboys flipped to the defensive line and went with defensive end Marshawn Kneeland out of Western Michigan. This was yet another position the Cowboys had to address, with Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler Jr. departing in free agency and DeMarcus Lawrence being in the final year of his contract. Kneeland fits the mold for what Mike Zimmer likes in his defensive ends, but Kneeland will have some work to do if he plans on making a big impact and helping replace all those snaps from Armstrong and Fowler. In round 3, the team selected a versatile offensive lineman from Kansas State, Cooper Beebe. Many see Beebe as Zach Martin's potential replacement and guard of the future for this team. He is a 2-time Big 12 Offensive Lineman of the Year and played every spot but center in college. Their next pick was one that I think could be one of those guys with high potential that pans out really well in the right system. Linebacker Maurice Lafau. Lafau has a ton of playing experience, starting the final 25 games of his college career at Notre Dame. He will be able to make an impact on both defense and special teams, and will have some great minds teaching him the game at the pro level in Zimmers and Kendricks. So how'd they do at camp? Well, according to a team reporter and journalist, Mike McCarthy called the rookie group that came in for minicamp this past weekend one of the most impressive groups he's had an opportunity to bring in during his career, from their approach off the field to their intention and attention to detail on the field. The two biggest stars of the draft class have been the two linemen Guyton and Beebe. Both guys have confirmed switching their positions as they make their transition to the pros. Guyton has gone over to left tackle and has been really smooth, as he has a very good work ethic that makes things a lot easier. Beebe, on the other hand, said that he'll be starting his career in the NFL as the Cowboys' next center and is doing everything he can to make that move as smooth as possible as well. He is getting a good feel for the position, including pre-snap adjustments and his snap technique itself. And when it comes to the Cowboys, you can never forget about their heavy hitters. Dak, CeeDee, and Parsons will do everything they can to take this team as far as it can go. Dak is coming off his best year with the Cowboys, with career highs in completion percentage, touchdowns, and passer rating. He also reduced his number of interceptions thrown, but Dak has no plans of getting complacent.
It means to me, I talk about it every offseason. Any chance we talk, that my focus is always getting better overall in every way that I can, every aspect of my game, and making sure I push the other people around me. And Mike's comments are a result of us doing that from the time this offseason.
I think that this year we could be seeing an even better. Another year under McCarthy's system with another year of chemistry with CeeDee Lamb could be absolutely unstoppable. Add that with the fuel of not making it past the second round to the fire, and Dak will be a possessed man under center. Lamb and Parsons are also world-class players. As Stephen A. Smith likes to say, they are box office, they are must-see TV, and they are game changers. One single play where teams take their eyes off them, and bad things will happen. Yet, one of the biggest questions facing this team is one they haven't had to worry about much in the Dak Prescott era. Who is going to be the running back? As of right now, the running back depth chart consists of Ezekiel Elliott, who they brought back to the team this offseason, Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, who has been taking slot receiver snaps, and Royce Freeman. Now, I have a bad feeling that this won't be the same depth chart by the end of the season, as there are still some really solid free agent running backs on the market. I could see the Cowboys going out and signing a guy like Dalvin Cook or Kareem Hunt to help their rotation. But I also think the Cowboys might have another Tony Pollard breakout guy on this chart, Rico Dowdle. Dowdle has never really gotten the chance to take over this backfield, but now he does, and it will be interesting to see how it all plays out. So now, let's jump into the team schedule itself and some predictions for this year's team. And warning, my prediction just might shock you. I'll start out by saying that the Cowboys have a very tough schedule this year, which I actually think will help them out as it will make them battle tested and as prepared for the playoffs as they've ever been. Week 1 they open up on the road against the Cleveland Browns, and I think they will start the season right and get a win. Then in week 2, Dallas will have their home opener and will take care of business versus the Saints. Now the schedule starts to get a little more dicey. Week 3, I think Dallas will see their first loss of the year coming against the Baltimore Ravens, who might be the league's best team this year. But no worries, as they'll bounce back and take care of the Giants the next week, having them sit at 3-1. From there, I see the Cowboys hitting a few speed bumps. The first being a Sunday night game in Pittsburgh where Mike Tomlin has been great, and I think the Cowboys will drop that one. It doesn't get any easier though, as they get the Lions the following week, and I think the Lions will get their revenge in Dallas for that officiating disaster last season. Now this leaves the Cowboys at 3-3 during their bye week, but oh, Spencer, you had such high expectations for this team. Well, I think there is going to be growing pains. There are a few moving pieces on the O-line, which has been a huge part of the Cowboys' success. I think they will come out of the bye week a hungrier and much better team who goes on the road and makes a statement by beating the San Francisco 49ers. From there, I see Dallas going on a hot winning streak of 5 games, taking down the Falcons, the Eagles, and the Texans at home, and then the Commanders and the Giants. Then the boys from Texas will get a little heat check and suffer a loss to the Cincinnati Bengals just to get right back on track the next week versus the Panthers. From there, I see them taking down the Buccaneers at home and then splitting their season series versus the Eagles and losing on the road before wrapping up the season with a win versus the Commanders. My main takeaway from this is that I see the Cowboys dominating the NFC East and South, but having a little trouble versus the AFC North. But like I said before, this is one of the hardest schedules any NFL team will face outside of the AFC North, who will beat up on each other. With an 11-5 record, I think they will squeeze out a division title over the Eagles and will be one of the top 2 seeds in the NFC. Going into the playoffs, having played so many playoff caliber teams, I think the Cowboys will finally realize what they need to do in order to succeed and actually succeed at it. I believe that this is the year the Dallas Cowboys finally get over the hump and make it to the NFC Championship. I think that while the NFC is going to be tough, teams will beat up on each other, and if the Cowboys can stay healthy, they can take advantage of this. An NFC Championship game appearance seems inevitable for Dak and the crew, and I think that they even have a chance to make it out to Vegas for the Super Bowl. But only time will tell. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Will this be the year Dallas gets over the hump? Will they make it to the Super Bowl? Or will this be their most disappointing year yet? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe as we are on the road to 30K. And as always, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.